Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Note Investing Be the Bank broadcast. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. Today we have Jamie Bateman, Jay Redding, and Dan Deppen on the call today. We're going to have a little bit of subject matter around AI. So if that piques your interest, stay tuned. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Dan, we got you now.
Yeah, I was able to fix it.
All right. Technical difficulties achieved and remedied. So, all right. Well, I found some new features inside the software, so you may hear some random sounds go off during the broadcast today.
You had some new music there for us in the beginning, too.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Was that
Nice.
kind of bad? The new music? I clicked on it and I was like, that didn't sound too bad. Then after I started listening to it for a while on the 2-minute break there, I was like, oh, that doesn't really sound real fun.
I'm just glad you had the regular one to pump me back up to get us ready. You had
the rock one. I think it's
Yeah.
called the rock version. So what is new with you, Jamie?
See, you want personal or professional?
I don't care. Air it all out. It's a safe space. Nobody
Actually, I'm heading to Dan's state here on Friday. I should have told you that, Dan.
Oh, nice.
But heading to I guess you could call it a mastermind event. It's should be pretty cool. There's a guy I had on my podcast. His name's Kevin Dahlstrom. Really cool. A couple of episodes, but he's putting on this event, and it's like 45 guys, and one group's going hiking, one's going rock climbing. I was like, I think given this group, I'll put my fitness level lower than I actually think it is, and I'll go with the hiking option because, we're meeting at 4 a.m. for the hike. So if that gives you any idea, but
Where are you
it'd be
going
really
hiking
cool.
at? Do you know?
What's that?
Do you know where you're going hiking at?
I do. I have the information, but I don't have it off the top of my head. Well, in Boulder. Sorry, in Boulder.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. So flying into Denver, going to be have a long weekend there, so that should be fun. Professionally, we've got our fund chugging along, and I also just signed a consulting agreement with a friend of mine. I'm helping him launch a fund as well.
Oh, cool.
Note fund, and that's really focused on these HUD HECM loans that we've been kind of working with, and so he's got, for the note investor out there, I like to talk about there's really 3 parts to running a note fund or running a note business: and raising capital, finding deals, and managing those first 2. And he's got deal flow, and he's got investors, and he has a lot of experience with asset management, but he's never run a fund before. And so I'm kind of like filling in some of the gaps, where gaps in his knowledge, and he's also adding a lot of knowledge for me. So it's been good launching that new fund. It's not my fund, but helping him get that off the ground, and then doing some mentorship for people as well. So yeah, staying fairly busy on the note side of things.
Well, make sure you get yourself an air tag, and then you give Dan your location so he can come find you if you get lost.
Seriously.
Yeah. Are you staying in Boulder? Or are you staying like in Denver and then going up?
Staying in Boulder, and then I am staying in Denver for one night because I have a friend who lives in Denver.
Cool.
So, but yeah, how far are you from there?
So when I'm at my house, I'm about 20 minutes east of Boulder.
Okay.
A little north of downtown Denver. But this weekend I'll be at my fiance's house, like right in Lodi. So I'll be like right in
Gotcha.
the kind of nearest downtown, I guess you could say.
Next time I'll coordinate better.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Dan, what is new with you, my friend?
So on the note side, working on buying a note and getting that closed. The seller kind of got slow a little bit at the end, but that's going through. On the underwriting side, it's funny, like the business has these weird like ebbs and flows where like you'll have a period of time where it's busy and then it slows down, and we definitely hit like this busy phase the last couple weeks. So trying to keep up with all of that. But yeah, and then working on some AI stuff that we can talk about it later as we get into it. So
I feel like the summer being over also I've just been busier the last couple weeks too. I can relate to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still getting golf in. I got to play this course called Haiwan this week that I'd always been wanting to play. It's up in Evergreen in the mountains. The lone hole had about literally like 50 elk on it, big ones. I'll send you guys pictures later.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It always seems like this is the busy time of year for note investing that I can recall. I don't know why that is, but it just always seems like it's the busy time from September to November. It seems like it's more busy than other times.
I would agree.
But you, Jay, what's going on in your neck of the woods, friend?
We're in the process of closing out 3 partials that we're buying. And those should be closed out next week. And we just closed out on a seller finance note that we originated ourselves. That's pretty much from the business side. On the personal side, about ready to head out to obviously next week to Paper Trail Conference, and then heading from there to Leadership Boardroom Mastermind in Minneapolis, and then directly from there going to Moab, Utah. I'm going Jupe trail riding. So,
wow.
So yeah, for the next couple of weeks, are going to be pretty busy. I'll be gone from the 17th and won't be back to the 29th.
Oh, right before Halloween.
Yeah, there you go.
Just in time to pass out
29th
candy.
of September. All right, not October.
Oh, see, I'm already a month ahead.
You're already in October.
I'm already thinking about fall break. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you got kids at school, so got it.
See, I have been a patient investor, and it's finally paying dividends because some of my bankruptcy / foreclosures are finally moving towards the tail end of it. So I've had a couple of people file bankruptcy, and then the cases got dismissed quickly. So now I'm able to kind of move and get some remedy for these defaults here. So that's kind of a good sign for the portfolio. Let's see. So personally, yeah. So we're obviously looking forward to fall break. We're going to be traveling down to the mountains called down there in Pigeon Forge in Tennessee, Smoky Mountains. Gosh, I completely blanked.
Smokey the Bear. There we go.
Yeah, it's got a little cabin there. It's got some nice amenities in there, so that'll be fun to take off there for a few days. It's not very far for me. I know Jay's a few hours north of me, but it takes about 6.5 hour drive from where I'm at. So it's not too bad to get there. So looking forward for that.
Yeah.
I have been passing on several land deals lately. It seems like a lot of investors that are buying land and trying to resell it on owner financing are just not creating a note that's the most attractive. They do a decent job with rate and term and pricing and stuff, but it's more of they don't really do any sort of background check on the borrower or credit check. They just kind of like, hey, can you afford to make this payment? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just don't like those deals. Like,
yeah,
whether they're large or small, I don't want to mess with it. I've had too many loans on land that stopped paying in the past that I just want to be more picky about it. So I've been passing on several deals that aren't up to what I consider a standard.
I think that's a key point. If I can just chime in, like for especially newer investors, just land can be attractive for a lot of reasons. But I feel like in the last few years, it's just been this, like, you've seen this uptick in people getting into the land space because there's so much of it, right? But
and the price points are a lot less.
The price points are a lot lower, so there's a lower barrier to entry in that respect. But I speak with Eric Sharaga quite a bit, and he's pivoted away from like the NPL, the traditional sort of NPL space, into the land note space, land buying and land note origination, lending and note buying. He's more of a lender and a note buyer versus a land buyer, but he talks all the time about how just there's so many people in that space who either don't know what they're doing or don't care to know what they're doing. And you just have to be careful. It doesn't mean don't get into the land note space, but you just really need to be careful about what you're buying and who you're working with. And to your point, Justin, he's very good at, focusing on the borrower credit. And then the other piece is just valuing land is difficult. Like it's very hard to like come up with comps, compared to your single family house. Where there's
It's
that's
totally
what
different.
stopped me from buying land notes so far. I just don't know how to comp them. Like I'm sure I've looked at a lot of stuff that are good notes, but I don't know how to.
Right.
I mean, I know one person paid X amount, but
right. Yeah, I own one. I think it's just one land note now. I've owned a few, but it's not really my wheelhouse.
Yeah, the due diligence on them is totally different as well than what a single family home would be.
Right. Yeah.
So I have not done any land notes.
Okay.
I'm not totally against it, but our lane is working very well right now. And at the moment, I don't see a reason for us to go into another trench that we don't have experience in at this moment.
That sounds like a few years of experience talking right there.
Sounds like sage advice, Jay.
Yes, that was a better way to put it.
Okay, that's an old man's advice. There you go.
All right. So one of the topics that I wanted to bring up today, and you guys are aware of this because I asked you to think about some of the stuff, is this year has probably been more of a pivotal year for everybody that's just in the business world in general for using AI, right? However you use it. And every day there's always a different type of AI that comes out that focuses on a certain niche and does a certain task that very well versus others. And so I just want to kind of go around the room, if you will, quickly, just to kind of expand upon like how specifically are you using like some sort of AI in your business world today? And so I'll just go with Jay, since we stopped with Jay. We'll go back to Jay now. And
okay. Well, again,
and if the answer is I'm not using it, that's fine too. It's just
this is the old guy, the old guy talking. I've not used it much. I've played with it just a little, and it is on one of my objectives in the fourth quarter here to start playing around with it. Let's get an account moving, and let's get the paid version. Let's start seeing what we can and can't do, and how we can leverage that. So I have been observing from other people, particularly in the note business, how they're utilizing it in some ways. And it's like, okay, I can understand that, and it's like, I'm not the first adopter, but I certainly don't want to be the last one either. So I guess it's time for me to get going.
You're definitely not last, for sure. I think there's a lot of people that don't use it because I think it's so foreign to them. They're not sure how to implement it or what to use it for. But there's so many small little things you can use it for. And a lot of softwares that I use online today already have it built in there to where you can click a certain feature and it does things for you. It just helps with like 2 or 3 little mundane things, and it just makes your life three mouse clicks less than it usually is. And that's what's pretty cool about it. So if I have any advice for you, Jay, it would be start with it doing something small for you.
Yeah.
And then build on it from there. Mr. Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using it for a lot of different things, and there's a bunch of other things like I'm investigating. I'm not quite using it on yet, but I think for me, like some of the biggest value is looking up data online. So like it tends to do a real good job of like looking up comps and rental rates. I used to use Trulia back in the day for like crime rates, and I took all that stuff off. It became hard to find. ChatGPT is like really good at finding crime data and things like that. So for me, it's just a big time saver. I've done some other experiments uploading pay histories and having it analyze it. It's actually surprisingly good at that. I had it actually interpret an allied pay history. If anybody's looked at one of those,
wow.
It's like hieroglyphs, like when, and it actually just like understood it and gave me
Wow.
like a graph of like, here's how far this guy's been running ahead or behind the whole time. So it can be a big time saver for me, mainly just pulling data together.
I saw that you did a post about that, or maybe you did a blog about it. And when you said that, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I put a pay history in there just to kind of see what it did. And I could see how valuable it is for it just to spit you out a summary of like, hey, this borrower is habitually late, or,
Yeah.
whatever you want to know about it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. And especially if somebody's like not used to interpreting those, because I know that creates a lot of confusion for folks that are brand new. But yeah, that can be an easy way just to get like the visual view of like, what does this mean?
Well, I would say that the allied servicing notes are kind of like hieroglyphics to hieroglyphics to be able to understand what their shorthand is and everything.
It's crazy that, and not to detour, but the one time I actually had to physically go to a hearing for a guy that was fighting a foreclosure in Jackson, Mississippi, I had to sit there on the stand and like explain to the judge what all the allied columns meant. Like he was quizzing me. Unfortunately, like I knew them all, but if we had that happen like a year or two prior to that, it may not have gone well. So
Anything else that you're using AI for?
yeah, so I am, this is in like the super early stages, but I'm building my own like private GPT for notes. So I've taken like all of my, I don't have all of them in there yet, but I get a
Yeah.
decent chunk, but like taking transcripts of videos I've created, like podcasts, standard operating procedures for the business, different things, and uploading them into like a private GPT. And I haven't tested it too much. I sent a couple people just in like the last 2 days checking out. And so far the results are pretty cool. Like it's past what my expectations were. It's one of those things I didn't know if it was going to work well, if it was just going to like flop, but it's pretty cool. So stay tuned. I'll have like more down the road.
So what's the intention behind that? Like to help train somebody or just to learn certain things?
Yeah, to do anything. So like, let's say you're brand new and you're like, okay, I want to buy a note. Where do I go to buy a note? And you can find like places you can go. And then it'll do things like say, hey, I'm interested in buying performing notes and I want them to be like around this size in these states, blah, 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 blah. Like where can I go look for those? And I have somebody testing it out. I talked to him a little earlier this afternoon. He actually downloaded a tape from PaperStack of like 25 NPNs and uploaded them and said, tell me what's going on here. And it like, I haven't actually gone in and looked at the results yet, but it like started like filtering it down like to 5 or 6 where it sort of explains. So it's all like pretty early days on this stuff,
Cool,
but
though.
the kind of the idea is right. Cause when like either, there's all these like day-to-day decisions where, you hear something from a servicer, this is going on, or you have like a non-performing situation, you got to make a call. And if you're experienced, you can kind of sit down and think about it and do it. If you haven't been there, even if you've had training, it can be kind of tricky, right? Because you got to go back and like dust off your notes or call somebody or check it out. So the idea is like a real time, like helping people make decisions and work a portfolio, and then do other things too. Like, hey, I'm buying this note. The seller sent me a pay history and these docs and blah, blah, blah. Should I ask them for anything else? Like that kind of thing. So
That's cool. I can see that being extremely helpful, especially for newer people that just wouldn't know right things to ask or right things to look for. So,
yeah, because you don't know what you don't know.
yeah. Until you have experience, yeah, you don't know.
Even if you have experience, you might forget.
That's true. That's true. Very true. The computer doesn't forget, right?
Yeah.
It's the airplane pilot. It knows all 16 boxes need to be checked.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, what are you leading into AI this year?
Yeah. It's funny because probably a year ago, I was using it and then I kind of just stopped for a while. I don't know why. And then I think I had a couple of podcast guests that just said, or maybe I was listening to a podcast that said, if you haven't been using it in the last 6 months, you have no idea the advancements that it's made. So I said, I need to try this again. So to be clear, I really only use ChatGPT other than, like you said, Justin, where it's like integrated into other software. But if I'm going to go use AI as an action, I go to ChatGPT. I've kind of mostly figured it out, so I'm comfortable with it. And I mean, I like the fact that, it's so fast and it remembers, right? Whereas a Google search is like, I got to start from scratch. And this thing, even if it's in a different chat, it just remembers everything. So I don't have to really, give context or anything. So that's really cool. I mean, it's maybe a little scary that I'm giving it all this information, but some things we've been using it for, we've really been using it quite a bit recently. We've put out a bunch of free resources that are really lead magnets to get people to, contact us. Just as a couple of examples, we have an AI-powered note investing guide. We've got a state licensing guide that goes through like which states you need a license in to be a note buyer. And then foreclosure reference pack. So it kind of walks through every state and the average timeline, the average time to foreclose and the average cost to foreclose, which is really helpful for people, I think. So we've been
that one is super helpful. I saw that when you sent that out a while back. That was a pretty cool list.
It was
cool. Good to hear. We have that in our I'm building a little community for my mentees, and that all these resources are in there. But just producing those resources, we've largely used ChatGPT. I will tell you that this is, I think, kind of interesting, where I've reached. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I mean, it's really amazing. It's awesome. But then I will reach the point where it's like it does a terrible job with graphics or the visual stuff. So it's really good with text and producing. Like, I mean, I can. One quick example is I just did this. As I mentioned earlier, I'm helping this guy launch a fund, and we've met several times. We met with our attorney and everything, and the attorney is drafting the PPM, the fund documents now. But I was like, I mean, it's been a few years since I started a fund, so I kind of just asked ChatGPT to give me, I asked it to give me, the next steps and like a playbook basically. And it just instantly, I mean, it already had all this information from questions I'd asked it before. And it spit out this step-by-step playbook with exact timeline of this is what you need to do in the next 3 days. This is the next 2 weeks with, dates exactly. And of course we don't have to follow it line by line, but it's like, oh, right. I don't start a fund every other week. So and it just gives me, guidance. I mean, it gives me like structure so we can make progress with it. That kind of thing. It's amazing for creating graphics and visuals. It's really bad with so far. At least I haven't figured out how to do it well with ChatGPT.
You try to get it to draw a person, it'll give it like extra fingers or two heads. Like it does some weird stuff. Yeah.
And so I've been learning about, one, prompt writing and like how to like be really, really descriptive up front. And I give so much information in the prompt, like probably more than necessary, as opposed to this really generic thing. And I'll sometimes say like, this is what you are, I need you to do the X, Y, and Z. It's really good at spitting out text and easy to read text, really bad with graphics and visuals and things. So you might have to go to another tool if you want something that's more like looks sexy and presentable. The other thing I wanted to mention is like, it also does not, it will say, I'm going to get back to you. And I hate this because like, I just really value when, and I get busy and I drop the ball too, but I value when people do what they say they're going to do. And it will say, I'm going to get back to you with this. And then it won't. And I'll say, okay, like, when are you going to have this? Oh, I'll have this to you in 2 hours. No need to follow up. And it doesn't. And I'm just like, and then when I follow up, all the links are expired and it's too old and I have to start from scratch basically. So it's like,
what are you doing that it's taken 2 hours to crunch?
Well, yeah, I was giving it quite a big project, a lot of online research and stuff. Yeah, like the foreclosure reference pack was one that took a long time because it was researching all this stuff.
Like did the
Well,
line
actually,
outside your house catch on fire for the
and
internet?
here's another one that was a pretty big project, and this did end up working, but it just took a lot of patience on my part. So we got this Heckham tape, so you can use this with any tape really. But what I was looking for with these are property values that where like the average online value was significantly higher than what the BPO value was on this tape. So I put these parameters in. I said, like, these are the states I'm looking for. This is like the, I guess, price range. And I want only like 20% higher. Go out and find me the online value from these sources. Bring that back. And if it's 20% higher than the HUD BPO value, just send me that list. And it went through the entire massive tape and did that like really well once I figured out how to give it the right prompts. But yeah, if you give it too much at once and you expect it to like come back to you in a couple of hours, you're going to have these like almost like heart-to-heart discussions with this thing where you start saying like, let me tell you what my values are, you know, and it's like, so I've reached certain limitations with it where it's kind of frustrating, but overall, I mean, I'm using it every day, multiple times a day for personal and business items. And it's like, I mean, I know Chris is pretty big into this stuff. He and I were talking about, he hates the fact that like it's always changing, and then it's like you're always behind, and it's like there's never like the right time to get in. But it's like that's just going to be forever.
Technology.
So it's like may as well get in now.
Yeah, I think especially the next couple of years, right? Like I've done a lot of experimenting with different tools, and it's funny how like depending on what I'm trying to do, like whether it's, you know, like the comps or crime rates or whatever, pay histories, like sometimes like ChatGPT will be better, sometimes like Grok will be better, Perplexity. But I think like that will evolve a lot. So like the way I do things like today is going to be different, like a couple months from now, a couple months after that. So I think, yeah, really like it's all going to be kind of a moving target for a while.
I learned one thing today on something that I was watching concerning AI, and they were recommending on the prompts to always, once you finished with your prompts, have to essentially ask ChatGPT any clarifying questions. All right, so that it can come back to have clarity and making sure that you're asking and you're giving them the information that it needs. I thought, okay, that makes total sense. So that might be the only thing that I can contribute in this discussion right there.
That's not true.
You know what AI stands for?
Yeah, yes, that I do know.
Okay, well that's good.
Nice.
More than most people. It's not Allen Iverson.
No.
Were you, Jay, you know, you could ask the AI how to help with the, you know, financial calculator and legal pad. Just skip the whole spreadsheet.
There you go.
Stage of it. Yeah.
Well, Jay, you also, and because I know you have a lot of rental properties as well, right?
Correct.
And I know you've talked about what are your returns on those versus putting that capital to work in notes. I took my financial reports from the rentals and just threw them in there and said, just analyze this for me, like per property, and it just was so fast at providing a good breakdown of, so that now I'm more informed about how my rentals are actually doing. So
I'm curious, what were your cap rates?
I don't want to talk about that.
That sounds like it wasn't a good answer.
It was not what you would want for it to be, and then we came.
You're
to that
not alone,
conclusion.
Jamie.
A little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But there are still benefits, tax benefits, appreciation.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily. I'm not anti-rentals, but we are cleaning. We are definitely
Pruning.
Yes, exactly.
Makes
We're
sense.
definitely pruning, and I would not disagree with you that AI can help you go through that pruning process a whole lot faster.
Exactly. Yep.
So I've incorporated couple of things that you guys already mentioned, like Dan with like dumping in like pay history type of things and having it run for you. I thrown in portfolios and said, hey, look at this and give me like an executive summary of how you would want this to be presented to like a hedge fund in New York or something like that. So I like how it does that pretty quickly. It's just like, oh, whoa, that was pretty cool. I use it mostly daily for composing emails. Just because I feel like I don't articulate well when I speak or write stuff. In my brain, I know exactly what's going on, but I can't output that. So it helps me a lot with that aspect. And I use Copilot, which is a part of Microsoft, what I think is OpenAI background. I'll use ChatGPT to help. And then there's also thousands and thousands of GPTs inside ChatGPT that people have already made, and so there's one in particular that's I think his name's Dan Kennedy, and so there's one of those Dan Kennedy ones that a friend told me about, and so I've kind of highlighted that one on my taskbar for ChatGPT, and so I'll use it strictly for marketing because he's like a marketing expert, and so I'll ask it, I'll tell it, it's like, hey, I got this situation. I'm a broker in this deal. I've got this, tape from this person, and I want to present it in a way that's to this person. And then I'll kind of stop and I'll let it think and I'll let it run through it. And then I'll just refine it because it'll actually start asking me questions as well on this certain GPT. And it'll say, hey, do you want it to sound like this? Are you wanting it to be longer, shorter? Do you want it to expound upon this? And I'll just say like, yes, and yes. And it'll refinement. After about 7 or 8 refinements, I have this really tight, email that's impactful with how I want it to be presented and what I want it to highlight and what the call to action to be. It just makes writing everything so much easier when it's doing the legwork for you. But that's helped me tremendously just daily using that.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's funny for me. I use it for that some places and not others. So like for writing like one-to-one emails, I don't really like it. So I use this email application called Superhuman. Like all my stuff is on Gmail, but it's like got these hotkeys and like some different tools. The idea is you can just kind of rip through a lot of emails a lot faster, and it has its own AI email drafter. Like it'll like draft a response and it'll even like give you options. Like, what do you want to say? And it'll give you like a few and then it'll write it. The problem I have with it though is whatever it writes, I'm like, that's not me. Like it's obvious. Like I didn't write that. So I don't find that like super helpful.
You don't use an emoji for every bullet. I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah. That's how you know. So that's Robot Dan when you start seeing
Exactly.
emojis. But where I do use it a lot is for like email newsletters. Like when I put out like a value newsletter that I learned something and have something to say, that's where like I have that same struggle of like, I know what I want to say, but I have a hard time like putting it together in a way that's coherent. So what I started doing
I like run on sentences and like rambling and circling and looping. And
yeah. So like what I'll do is like, let's say I'm writing a newsletter about, I don't know, like here's how to use AI to interpret pay histories. Like I'll sit down on a notebook, like I'll jot out like the high level bullet points and then I'll start a Zoom and I'll record it and I'll just talk to it like, like conversationally. And then I'll dump the transcript into ChatGPT and I'll say, turn this into an email. And it does a really good job of that. Like that.
And that's how
although
it
I found it
captures
tends
your
to drop
persona
things
and
out.
your tone.
Is that
when it does that.
Superhuman? Is that what you're using? Super.
Not for that. No, not.
okay.
Yeah. So for like email newsletters, like if I want to like take a transcript and then turn it into something, I just do like I record it with Zoom and then I put the transcript into ChatGPT.
Okay, gotcha.
But Superhuman's what I use for like my day in, day out email. But I use it more for like the hotkeys and some of the features to speed things up. Their actual AI email writer, I've experimented with it a little bit. I would probably only use it if I was sending to somebody that didn't know me. Because if you knew me and you read that, you'd be like, that's weird. Like,
Google's
that's
it's funny that you say that because
Gemini? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just I thought isn't Google's AI tool Gemini?
Yeah.
Is that right? I haven't tried that.
Yeah, Google's is Gemini. I've messed with that a tiny bit, not that much. It seems like it's pretty good because all of my business stuff is on Google Workspace. you
Yeah,
know,
mine
so I
too.
can use it there.
Gotcha.
But I haven't messed around with their email writer because even though I'm using Gmail under the covers, I'm never using their actual application.
Mhm.
Maybe a lot better for that.
So what I found is that along the same lines that you were doing, Dan, where you were recording your Zoom and having conversation about subject matter, is that when you do that over and over again and you compile like this list of multiple conversations that Dan Deppen has had, and you load it into the program, whichever one you're using, and you say, this is how I talk and this is how I instruct on subject matter. But now I want to use my tone and the way that I style, talking, and I want to put this into text, and I want to do it as if it was me talking. And once you do that, you can't tell a difference if it's really you doing it or not. Because I've been doing that with Eddie when I'm helping him on the trade desk, and
Mhm.
he'll answer a bunch of questions for me, and we'll record the transcript, and then I'll dump it into the program, and I'll say, hey, this is what my mentor is saying about this subject matter, and I want to answer this question, and I want to do it, in his style. And it spits it out. I'm just like, my God, it even uses his like mannerisms and sayings and stuff. It's hilarious. It's like no one would even know that it wasn't him writing it. But
It's
we've done
amazing.
marketing pieces that way too. It's just like that sounds just like Eddie. It's funny. So, but you have to teach it. If you don't teach it, bad
Mhm.
input equals bad output, right? With any computer program language,
Yep.
but you
Sure.
got to teach it. So
Yeah.
that's what I've noticed about it recently is that it's really strong about picking up personas and tones and styles and how people speak and talk. But you have to give it a bunch of data for it to analyze and look at trends and patterns
Sure.
for it to know what to do. But because you can't just say, "Hey, make it sound like I'm a business guy," that talks heavy. Like it would have a rough time composing an email without having a lot of background.
Yeah.
What are you using to do the transcript?
Oh, so for me, there's a million ways you can do it. This is not necessarily the most efficient, but I'll just fire up a Zoom and hit record.
Okay.
And when I record with Zoom, it'll give me a video file, audio file, and the transcript
Oh,
automatically. The
gotcha.
other thing you can
Okay.
do is you can convert files. Like some applications will give you a VFF file,
Hmm.
which is not like super helpful. So a lot of times, like you can put that into ChatGPT and ask it to convert it. That's
Gotcha.
another thing it'll do
Okay.
for you.
Could you do the video and put the video into ChatGPT and then have that do the transcript? I'm just
It
asking.
might. I don't know that I try that, but it would create more work
Yeah.
for the
Okay.
GPT because you have to read the video, create the transcript, and but if you already have the transcript, it's easier just to give
It's
them.
faster. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, faster, lighter
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing it in bits and not megabytes is always better. So the less input you have for it to read quickly, the ones and zeros, the faster it's going to go and more efficient it's going to be.
Gotcha.
I've not tried to throw a video in there, but I agree with Dan. You're always best to have that transcript and load it in there because it can fly through that like 1,000 pages. That seems like a snap of a finger. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I also use AI for, any sort of software that I use, like I mentioned before online, like my payroll software has AI built in it. My online QuickBooks has AI built into it, and it can sniff, my bank transactions and like do common rules that I already have set up and already just, help me do things. So it really eliminates the need for an office manager to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and so that you can focus on more creative stuff. That's what I like about it. It's like having an executive assistant that does the tasks that you want them to do.
So Jeff Vincent, he probably won't mind me saying he's one of my mentees, but he just said videos do work and it's great to save hours and give you a video summary. So,
Hi, Jeff.
Thanks,
Welcome to
Jeff.
the show, my friend.
The other one that I use a lot, it's not AI, but it's very handy. If they called it AI, they'd probably sell more licenses, but it's called Text Expander. And so what you can do is if you've got things that you type a lot, like let's say you get like frequent like inbound things like asking the same question, or even if there's just something you type a lot, like your phone number or your email, You can go and create what they call snippets, and then you create little hotkeys. And so like if I have like a standard email, like with Call the Underwriter, I have a lot of these, like people email, how does this work? What do I do first? And so I've got these like big, long, like pre-scripted emails, and I can hit a hotkey that's like 3 keys, and then it just boom, fills it all in.
Wow.
And that saves me a ton of time and the brain damage of like trying to have to think, every time
Right.
I have to write it. So you can do, and then you
Heaven
can
forbid
have,
we have to think.
then if you got employees, yeah, you can have like a business account with different people, so you can share them. So you can be like, okay, here's like standard snippets, and kind of document when to use them. So that saves a lot of time. Now they're pre-canned; they're not like writing it on the fly like AI. But I say that saves me a ton of time.
So interesting enough today, actually, before we jumped on this live broadcast, not to change subjects about AI, but it's a different AI subject. So I had bought a used vehicle over the summer. It was a Volvo, and it's an SUV, and it already had these rooftop crossbars on there, right? And all these crossbars, I hadn't owned a vehicle that had these before. They have, locks on the side of them, right? So that for whatever reason, maybe people might move your crossbars, I guess, or take them off. But when I got the Volvo, I didn't get the key for it. So I was like, okay, this is weird. So I was doing some research the last like week or so on and off when I had time. Like, hey, what kind of crossbars are these? How do I get them off? Is there like a master key? And I'm looking all this stuff up, and I thought I knew the manufacturer, but then I finally realized, like, oh my God, why am I not taking a picture of this, loading into Google, and have Google figure out what this is? And so I finally did that before the call today. And I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I think of that? So I used Google to figure out what the manufacturer was. I found the manufacturer, and I found like the model number of whatever I had. I load it back into the AI that I was using to do all this research about it. I said, hey, now I got this brand. Like, how am I able to get these locks off if I don't have the lock? And it says, well, this company is a private, label company, and they don't have like a public, they're not accessible publicly to like contact them to get a key or whatever. But they said the good news is these are like low security bars, so it's not going to take you much effort basically to get the lock open. I was like, oh, okay. So like,
Nice.
Stick a screwdriver and something else in there. And I was like, sure enough, one of the
Pop
locks
it
came
up.
off. I'm like, oh shit.
You can
I
do
saved
that, right?
myself a couple $100 from calling a locksmith.
But you can do that with ChatGPT. You can just take a picture and upload it. And then like I did that with a tire that
You
needed
did?
to be
Okay.
replaced. Yeah. And it was like,
I
this
didn't
is
know
the
that.
brand. This is probably, these are the 3, stores within your area that you need to go to. And it was,
Wow.
so much easier that way. I just took the picture. I said what needed to be done, but I didn't say what kind of tire it was or anything like that. And so,
It just gave me an idea for Crime GPT. It's like, I need to get past this lock. I lost the key. I need to.
So I did ask it a specific question about how to pick a lock, and it completely shut me down and said, that's against
Really?
protocol. Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like, I need to crack the safe. I forgot the combo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess that's good. It shut you down.
It did shut me down, which I thought was funny. I was like, you know what? That's probably a good feature to have.
Maybe that's why Jay doesn't really use it. He's been shut down because he's.
You got to start before you get shut down.
He looks like a thief that could pick a lock.
But no, actually, I was going to say, just like for anybody who's I'm not at all like the AI expert. Okay. But if you're like hesitant to try it or, anything like that, you don't need to be the person that does it necessarily. You can treat it like any other skill set, right? So like if you do have a small team or you can approach it in different ways. You can use software where the AI is already built in and you don't need to be an expert in ChatGPT, or you can hire, like I know Chris will hire people who for just like a particular job from Upwork or somewhere else to be that AI expert. So if it seems overwhelming, it's not like you need to be the AI guru to be able to use AI.
Yeah. You need a prompt engineer to help you out.
Right.
And that's all it is. It's understanding how to make a good prompt. And sometimes you just have to put in something to get it started, and then you can refine, and you finally get a prompt. So like the projects that you and Dan and Jamie are working on, it's like once you get it complete to where you have the refinement, you say, okay, now I want to make one prompt to encompass this exact result every time. What is that going to be? and it could spit you out the exact language that it needs to be. So every time you want to use that function, you just throw in that exact prompt every time to get the result that you want. So that's what's cool about it as well.
Yeah.
And do it in 3 words or less.
And I won't do it in 3 words or less.
Oh, okay.
Not with the projects Dan and Jamie are doing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Projects that me and you are doing, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Write an email.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other one that I'm investigating, but I haven't put it into work yet. I was just messing around trying to get it to work. Is called RPA, or robotic process automation. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at that. Basically, you install this agent on your laptop, and it can kind of drive it, right? You ever, like, I don't know, through work, like you ever have to log in through support, and they like they remotely like get into your screen.
Yeah.
But what you can do is kind of create scripts and train it to do things you do a lot, right? It's like, let's say you get, I get these emails from FCI with the payment information, and then I save them, in a folder for the end of the month for the bookkeeping. What you could do is you could create one that actually, when it sees this email, or you trigger it through a hotkey or whatever, there's a lot of ways you can set it off. It downloads the file, moves it to the right folder, and then you could even take it a step further, like open the PDF, read the data, open QuickBooks, enter the data in, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a little bit of a pain to get set up, but kind of cool for like routine admin type things that can be time sucks sometimes. Little weird though to have all these things that are like automatically kicking off and like taking over your computer. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but
Right.
Then you have to know, what do you do when it makes a mistake, and and to monitor it and check it, because everything that we're talking about, it's great and it's probably pretty accurate, but you still want to have a human set of eyes kind of review stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I like about using it for due diligence, like you guys were talking about with crime and like running through stuff, because it can save you hours to get to the point to where, okay, now I can just have the senior attorney go over it just to make sure that it's all correct and good.
That, or you've got all the information there that you can make the executive decision at that point.
Yeah. If I want to give Jay the lowball price or give him a fair price.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've got four Chrome tabs open of different AIs that I use for different reasons. But going back to what Jamie said, it's basically a big long text thread that I can go back to, weeks ago when I was having a conversation on a certain chat about, like, we got a new puppy this year. So I listed like the puppy's breed and like to learn, like, hey, what things we need to look out for with this breed, like their digestive system and stuff like that. So every time I have like a question about why the puppy is doing something, reactive to something, I put it in there, and it could be weeks later and just picks up right where you left off. And it's like, oh yeah, do this. And then it remembers all that conversation you had before. So it's just kind of cool.
Yeah. Not to be a buzzkill, but my son's in the hospital and he's got some serious, mental health challenges, but I've been using it so much, ChatGPT, just trying to navigate that whole situation, because it's really complicated. Just if you're talking about like just different medications and different genetic issues or whatever else, it can be. There are a lot of factors, and there's, especially in the mental health space, there's not. We only know we don't know a lot. I mean, there's so much.
A lot of things we don't know about mental health.
yeah.
And then it's all related to like your physiological stuff. So anyway, my point is that AI has really helped me navigate that as a sounding board, and also just for like kind of understanding what maybe the doctors are saying, and also being prepared and able to ask them intelligent questions, and just kind of, not second guess them, but another set of eyes. And it just, it's been really helpful to help, in that from a personal standpoint. It's been really good. So.
Yeah, it's scary how much ChatGPT knows about me, because it knows all about my businesses and what I'm into. And like a lot of times I'll ask it something, and then give me other information that I also kind of wanted, but I didn't actually ask for because it just kind of knew. Like, oh, you're going to
Right.
go here. And so it just preempts it. It's kind of different.
Yep.
It tracks your patterns as well, your habits.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good things that we have to learn from it, and I think we all have to adapt to it. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's just a matter of it's this new thing that we always have to get used to. It's going to be a part of life. It's going to be integrated faster than we think with almost anything you can think of, and that's just what we have to get used to. So I would say embrace it and figure out how to start small. Like Jay, it sounds like you're already kind of inching your way forward with it, which is good. And eventually you'll just start building on different things that it's doing for you. And pretty soon you'll realize, oh my God, it's doing 3 or 4 things that I used to have Kyle do. Now Kyle can, go wash my car. You got time to go wash the car, Kyle.
No, but you're right, Justin. I've had my team. I have a few VAs, and I have them give me every day just short list of what you're going to work on, and at the end of the shift, short list of happy birthday, Dan.
Yes.
Short list of
Oh, thanks.
Oh
Yeah,
happy
this is
birthday,
a
Dan.
big one. This is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is 5-0. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday, man.
Happy
Nice.
birthday, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Cynthia.
Wow,
Yeah.
spending it with us.
That's right. You guys are that important. I'm not into AI.
Nice. Anyway, I've had my team
Sound effects.
make sure they use ChatGPT like every day as a thing they have to do, and trying to get them to embrace it. So it's like, it's not to replace you, it's to just help you be faster.
Enhance you. Yeah, enhance.
Really, like, it should help you have more breaks during the day. If you I mean, if anything, I'm not trying to like replace my team members with it. I'm trying to get them to be more efficient and
If
have
anything,
less work.
it doubles the size of your company by having the same amount of staff.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that's how they
hopefully.
have to think of it. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not losing your
Well,
job.
and
You're
it
just-
allows people to do
personal
higher
assistant.
value stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
Right.
have a bigger company with, less overhead, which means what? More profit.
More profit.
So did you
He
have
likes more
anybody
profit.
plan your birthday party, Dan, or
So so we had a family birthday party this weekend. We're going out to dinner tonight, but then my real present is in a couple weeks, my fiance's taking me to Philly to see an Eagles game.
oh,
So
cool.
we'll be up there doing that.
There you go.
You get to see that guy spit on someone else's face again, huh?
I don't know. We'll see if he's back by then. Yeah.
Waylon Carter.
I heard since they suspended him for that game, that incident happened before the game actually started, so they counted that as his
Oh, really?
punishment. Yeah.
Hmm.
So because he was ejected from the game before the game started, they used that as his.
I mean, the game had started, but he hadn't played it down
Yeah.
yet.
Until the whistle blows and the kickoff happens, the game hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Well, I think the kickoff had happened. It was before the first. I don't know.
It
Anyway,
was
it doesn't matter.
like
Or
by
the
the
first
coin
net.
toss. Is that when it happened?
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Dan!
you, guys.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yay! I don't have a special sound for birthday. How about a train whistle?
I like that. Yeah.
Justin's learning. He's got all kinds of knobs, and he is uncovering new things that are available to him in StreamYard.
You got it, Jay.
What you need is the Law and Order, like don't when there's something dramatic.
I have drum roll on the bongos.
Wow.
Oh my!
Also,
we'll have
William
more fun
said
next
hello
month
from
with
Georgia.
that.
Justin,
What's that?
almost an hour ago, William said hello from Georgia. We missed that one.
I thought I put it up there.
Yeah,
Oh,
he did.
maybe you
He
did.
did.
I put it up there, and I
My
said,
bad.
wave
I missed
hi.
it.
There you go.
You can
My
wave
bad.
hi though, William Nadal. All right, gentlemen. I think that that's a wrap for today. This was a
Nice.
good topic. I didn't expect it to take most of the time today, AI, but I feel like we got off on good subject matter, and hopefully people that weren't as familiar with it as what we were talking about help them, and hopefully I learned a few things from the rest of you guys today, except for Jay. He didn't learn anything for me.
Yeah.
I took some good notes though.
Yeah. But Jay adds a lot of value. Just not today.
Just not today. Not my realm of expertise by any means.
Just mess with you. We love you, Jay.
Well, you know, you
That's
can still
okay.
be a
I
very
know where I'm
successful.
deficient. Hey, I know where I'm deficient, and I'm deficient in this area.
There's a lot of things I'm deficient on, Jay. Don't worry.
I'm there.
Jeff said, check out Perplexity AI.
AI.
Yeah.
I have used that one. Thanks for mentioning that, Jeff. I actually used it. I did a presentation yesterday to some Israeli investors, and I didn't want to do the presentation, so I used Gamma.ai to help me set it up. Actually, it was a lifesaver.
Gamma's a great one.
But I used Perplexity to pull some data together really quickly that I wanted to know about certain slide I was talking about. It did a pretty cool job. It scraped some stuff, and it showed up with Tracy Rui stuff. Actually showed up on it.
Oh, nice.
Searching some stuff out, so I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. I know that's legit."
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Until next time, have a good rest of your September, and we'll see you guys in October.
Sounds
Take care.
good.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Have fun.
See you.